Absolute Batman had an icy showdown with Mr. Freeze this week, and that's just one of the excellent comics that we had the opportunity to review this week and come to you all to talk about here on Pals Pulls as we do every single week. This week we've got Cale,
What's up? Chili dogs.
Tyler,
I have hot dogs in my fridge that I'm excited to get to
My man,
again.
I've had 6 hot dogs in the past 2 days.
Are they sausages where you are?
No, these are real hot
You're
dogs.
having bangers?
No. These are real hot dogs.
Okay, you're bringing America to the UK. Got it.
Well, these are ye old hot dogs.
Ruined it.
So
and I'm Sean. Thank you guys for being here, whether you are live or in the future. Make sure you hit that like button wherever you are. We
smash it,
appreciate it.
in
It helps us
fact.
out a lot. Yes, please do smash it. We had a wonderful conversation with Mark Wade this week, Tuesday night. Thank you. Huge shout out to everybody who came for that. It was incredible. And if you haven't heard it, this is your alert, so to speak, to check that out because it was really good.
Yeah, it's real nice to just be able to talk to young up and coming talents in comics. Put a spotlight on some lesser known people. So it was great.
It's part of our responsibility here.
Yeah.
It was oh, I was gonna make a great bit, but I can't remember where the
Oh
oh,
no.
it was great to talk to the editor in chief of Humanoids for 5 minutes.
Yes, yes, exactly. And at one point in time, Boom Studios as well. He was working over there a lot too. Um, 10 and stats says his kill in the UK.
Born and bred. No, that's not true. Yeah, I live in I live in Liverpool.
You're just
Thanks
like
for
an
asking.
you're just like an Ameriboo. Like you're born in the UK, but you have an American accent because you're just really into the culture.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of Doctor Who, I watch a lot of Days of Our Lives.
Well, that's true.
Well, listen.
Um, we have
I don't know.
six books to talk about this week. Absolute Batman number 8, Batman Dark Patterns number 6, the closeout of the second arc.
And the closeout of the Batman Rock Block.
Yes, Supergirl number 1, Invincible Universe Battle Beast number 1. I've got some thoughts about this. Exquisite Corpses number 1 and One World Under Doom number 4. So we've got some hot stuff to get into here tonight. And let's get right into it now. Talk about Absolute Batman number 8. This is of course written by the incomparable. Oh wait, do we have a Marco? Did Marco join us?
Yeah, Wild Marco is appearing. He's just booting up his own self right now.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'll continue to yap. This is written by Scott Snyder with art by guest artist Marcos Martin, closing out this little mini freeze arc. Monza Vincente on colors, Clayton Cowles on the letters. So last issue, Batman was duped and trapped by the absolute Mr. Freeze. He is in the lair of Freeze and in danger of dying. And this issue kind of juxtaposes that battle with Mr. Freeze with a less, well, I was going to say less punchy, but actually similarly punchy battle with Bruce's friends who are worried for him and what he is doing as Batman. Cale, how did you feel about this closeout of the mini Freeze arc?
I really enjoyed the horror bits of Freeze, and I really enjoyed that this was what a nasty page to open this book on. It's the one with the Bruce's great big red eyes, and he's got the his memories all around him. Um, I really enjoyed the struggle that Bruce has in this one to maintain his strength and his his right state of mind, and um I thought that the actual conflict of it all was fine. I think overall I had a better time in this one than I did the last one. Just because there was so much, I think, build up to getting to the point where we see Freeze, and then with this one it was still the same format of Bruce dealing with Freeze, and then the cutting into uh his time with his friends and the discussion with his friends. um and I like those two moments a bit more stripped down in this issue versus in the last one where it kind of had to build to get to this point. um and then ultimately leading to the discussion with his friends, lighting the match to the great big mural of matches. Like, I thought that worked really well. But I think I had a similar complaint as with this series is to escape the crowd, the freeze tank. Bruce has a bat crossbow in his cast. I went, oh yeah, of course he does. It's another one of those things. Just, come on. Um, Overall, yeah, I like this one a lot. I think the cool, yeah, cool, the stuff that Marcos Martin does is really good this time. Getting to see the freeze action, and then the stuff that Batman is doing in the actual horror elements. I think Marcos does a really, really great job. Um, Overall, yeah, this one worked a lot better for me than the last one.
So I have a bit of a story time for this one, if that's cool. So if you subscribe to the Patreon, you can check out Palin Around, which came out today. And I mentioned I was going on speed dating. So I went on a speed dating event last night. I'm there, ready to go on my first date. There's an uneven number of guys to girls there. So I'm hyped up, ready. I got my drink. And it's like, hey, your first turn, you're taking a break. You're on the odd number for the first one. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna read. So I read Absolute Batman in this bar. And as I'm reading this, I'm like having such a good time. This is a great issue. And then there's a guy next to me with his girlfriend. He's like, what are you reading?
Hey, we like your vibe.
I mean, he's like, that art looks insane. I'm like, oh, brother, check this out. So I start, my first thing I do for speed dating is talking to this dude with his uninterested girlfriend and showing him Absolute Batman. He's like, yeah, I just checked out The Killing Joke. It's my first time reading a Batman comic. This looks insane. I'm like, oh yeah, this is nothing you've checked out. So I think I might have converted somebody to Absolute Batman. Because I was.
So your dating was successful, just not in the way you hoped.
Well, we'll see. And I love this issue. I thought it was great. Like he saw that I was done with the issue and then asked me about it. But man, I really enjoyed it. I think the theme of heat throughout these two issues has been great. The idea of Matches Malone versus and then Mr. Freeze being on the two ends of the A and B plot here. And it the idea of Matches being the friendship that Bruce has. And that being the spark that kind of lights him to know, like, I have people that care about me, and I need to be a little more careful. And so he leaves, the fight, which typically he wouldn't have done in the first arc. I really like that. I think that theme of heat also extends to the art, specifically the colors. The colors by my scroll here isn't working. If somebody wants to grab that for me.
Vincente?
Yeah.
Monza Vincente.
Yeah, Munza Vincente. I was trying to remember the first name. Are insane. Like I think I had a I kind of called out last issue, like it is heat, but you really feel it in the fight scene. Bruce is turning blue the entire time. These colors, and Marcus Martin draws the most top heavy Bruce Wayne I've ever seen, and he gets bluer and bluer and bluer until it breaks, and then every other shot you see of Batman when he's fighting, there's a bit of fire behind him. There's a bit of reds. There's a bit of yellows. The hot pinks turn into it too, and it contrasts with the way Freeze and everything else there is. Well, the colors were having the same fight the art was, which I thought was really, really damn cool. And I think it really works when you have, Martine, who works great with flat colors. And it really lends to like the theme of what's going on here. I like how it's not a one and done story. They're going to continue on with this free stuff. It's not the end of it. Yeah, I really like this issue. I thought this was great stuff. And I'm glad I converted some random stranger whose name I don't know to Marcos Martin art. I think he noticed the splash page where Batman, it says like live, and it's it's good stuff. Yep, that's the one right there.
Yeah, dude, I saw this. Rad. I popped hard. I was down on the first issue of this. I definitely felt like the framing, with the friends currently telling him, you shouldn't be doing this, juxtaposed to the action of Mr. Freeze. I think it worked better here, uh, just because at the end of it, he learns a lesson. I think there's like growth there that I really appreciated, and the weight of his friends come more into play, and I think that that's a good device and something that they'll continue to do so, and they will with the way that this issue ends. Um, and I also really enjoyed the art and colors. The one thing that stuck out to me was the lettering in particular. There was so much just like um, SFX and little things here and there, whole panels that were just blocks of text. So I thought that this was well done. Not my not my favorite of the issues. This definitely hasn't been as hot as the other issues for me, but I can recognize the craft. I can recognize the way that the team is working together to put out something that I think is overall a really tight package. Whether or not I'm particularly in love with it. No, you're on mute.
Shit, sorry. What a scrub I am. I think that this issue was good, but I wasn't in love with it. Um, I miss Nick Dragata. It's not a cut against Martine. It's just that I just like what Nick's been doing. And almost all the time I'm like, damn, what would he have done? How would he have flipped this or whatever? But I can see why this was a good space for Martine. He's got the horror bits that he does really well and stuff like that. I think my biggest problem with the issue was I really didn't like the way that Batman gets out of this situation. It's just too easy. It makes me question why he was even in this situation at all. It's just way too easy. And then also, to be honest, I wasn't really buying the snowfall fight with Waylon and Bruce. I don't know. Like the dialogue for me was just a little cheesy. It's like, do you want to die? No, then live. Ah, no, sorry, Scott. Um,
It,
it's yeah. Go ahead.
it was very anime inspired, like Sakura's inspiring Naruto.
Yeah, it was just too cheesy, and I couldn't really buy into it. And so overall, that made this probably the weakest issue of Absolute Batman for me. It just I don't know. I'm ready to get to Bane and ready to have Nick Dragata back, and this is still one of my favorite series coming out, but this issue isn't why. I like the new Freeze though. I do think he looks cool and everything else, but
It's wild because I think this is my favorite issue
hmm.
of Absolute Batman. I'm a Marcus Martin guy though,
Mm.
so
I might be with you, but I also like the same moments that Sean called out. Like for me, are like I had massive problems with. Like I'm also, excuse me, I'm also thinking, looking at the picture, the page where Batman breaks through the wall, and it says "knock knock" behind him, and he says, "I heard you like pain." Batman said that?
Yeah, he did with his whole chest.
The Batman? Batman
Ugh.
said that? I don't know, Scott.
I agree with you completely, but alternatively, I do have to say this image is cool as shit. I really like that.
Yeah.
The knock knock in the background. I don't know.
I also like how
They-
the colors of the letters are almost lighting Batman
Yeah.
in a way.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like that part's cool. It's just like like you say, like the cheesiness of it is like, come on.
Bit
This is
much.
Batman.
Yeah, it's like, do you bleed? Like,
Mhm.
well, excuse me. You should try to lead with that, Tyler, during your speed dating.
I've
I
tried.
heard you
Doesn't
like pain.
well. I thought you meant the do you bleed?
Either way, listen.
Usually you ask do you bleed if a couple months go by and cycles are off. But
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
just gotta double
Okay.
check.
Not how you open a speed dating, dude.
Don't worry, I didn't. Okay,
Oh yeah, C.W. Gordon reminds us Batman AF. So
Very
true.
much so. Absolutely.
somehow I forgot.
Um, yeah, I think this is definitely still a pull. I'm just not as enthused about this issue as I've been for the rest. Oddly, I enjoyed the last one more than I did this one, which is clearly not the consensus. But I think I really like the like minor detective-y aspects of that one that we got. And yeah, this was solid.
and it's weird because Martin is similar to Dragoda, but not in execution. Like in style, yes, but not in execution. We praised Dragoda's ability to pick snapshots for tiny panels that help tell the story. That's not Marcos Martin at all.
I'm gonna go the other way. He's a bit more of an active Francesco Francavilla
Sure, yeah,
in his art.
yeah, which actually kind of works for Snyder. Those two have worked together for forever, so it's in the same vein for sure.
Pull and passing.
It was almost my pick of the week. It is not my pick of the week, but it was almost. So it is a pull for me.
Also a pull.
Oh, Paul, this is fun.
Let's see what the audience says. We put up a poll for every single book that we review that you guys can vote in right here while we're live. And it gives you a little bit of say. You're sort of the fifth pal, so to speak. 73% of you say pull. Pick of the week, 14%. Didn't buy or read is 11%, but nobody passed.
That's the first
That's
time in a
pretty impressive.
while that I haven't seen. I've seen a 0 in any of the options.
I've seen some 0% pick of the weeks, but I don't know
Fair,
if I've
fair.
ever
Okay,
seen
yeah,
I can't think of a 0% pass in quite some time. So it's pretty good. Did you guys see the tease for the Bane arc?
Yeah.
It's
The
called Abomination.
A-bomb from that great Jeff Loeb run of Hulk, that type thing, right?
Definitely not.
Ooh, okay.
It's
I don't know.
a-
I saw that second tease. That's that's a lot more like what I.
Well, if you guys recall, the creator of Bane, I forget his name, Graham something, can't remember. He put out a tweet or something of that nature when he was asked about what he thought about the new Bane, the Absolute Bane, and he said it looks like an abomination. He can't, he didn't like it. And so the title of the next arc is Abomination, presumably a troll of that individual.
Graham Nolan.
Unless
Graham Nolan.
unless he knew something we didn't. He got a first pass at it, and he was
Oh,
teasing
no.
us the whole time. No, am I giving him too much
Oh.
credit?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I tried.
Mm-mm. Um, Silhouette said Martian Manhunter gets 0 mainly. Yeah, that Martian Manhunter is probably another one that gets 0% pass rate on the channel. That makes sense.
Marowak Obscuro mentions the Doc Ock tentacles are too much. How do you feel about the bat arms?
Oh,
I'm
I
into
like
it.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
The little hooks, the finger hooks.
I think for me, here they look like tentacles. I think Dragata uses them better. like where they actually look like the the arms or whatever, instead of just for effect.
I pretty much like anything that we're gonna get for any of these heroes that make them different than mainline in the way that they interact, in the way that they fight. And Batman's got that. And he's got that crazy like chest hammer. Superman's got the cape. Wonder Woman's got her bag of tricks. So I appreciate the fact that they're doing something a little different with each character as far as like how they interact with their powers and things like that.
Munster.
Hayden's high. Oh, sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
please. Monster Design says, I was also kind of disappointed last issue, but this one was a lot better paced and loved the action. I'm glad this arc is only 2 issues. And they got me hooked with the Wayland and Arc M stuff with the Bane tease.
I'm all for it, man. Bring on shorter arcs.
Short Kings and comics are great.
That's what I was thinking.
Like, let me ask you guys this: what would you rather? And let's use Ultimate Spider-Man as the example.
Wait,
Would you rather?
I was gonna say, is this one of the patented comics pals? Would you rather moments from way back when?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it is.
Cool.
Would you rather an arc drawn by who's the David Messina, and then an arc by Hickman, or I'm just Hickman drawing it, and then an arc by Takeo, or the way it is now, where we're getting fill-in issues, here and there.
I prefer the arc format. It's more. I can keep track of it better in my head.
It makes for a more solid story.
Yeah.
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 See that I agree. I would love it if they could do that. The problem I think is with the month over month storytelling, whereby it's really kind of hard to contain like an arc. Here, this arc, this 2-issue arc takes place over the course of like a night. You can't
Yeah.
do that in Ultimate Spider-Man,
They can't have arcs.
right?
Yeah.
Not traditional ones.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ultimate is doing thematic arcs, but yeah.
I also think the Chichetto art, I think they might just be sort of a mismatch anyway. Like all due respect to Messina, but like Chichetto's art is so stylized and perfected, whereas Messina's is like it's a bit more cartoony in the faces and in the proportions and stuff.
It's flatter too.
Yeah, a little bit flatter. I think those two, like, it wouldn't hurt so bad if there was someone who was a little bit more stylistically similar. Either way, frankly.
I think Chichetto is. I mean, I'm talking to Spider right now, but I think Chichetto is more like McNiven almost
I can see it.
than a Messina. So it is jarring jumping back and forth. It's
Coipel,
like,
yeah.
It's like it's whiplash.
Hayden's Hideout with $5. Hey pals, my pick of the week is surprisingly Green Lantern #4. This issue was fantastic, a perfect balance between humor, action, and good pacing. Kilowog was fantastic. Yeah, I completely agree. Green Lantern Corps continues to be a stellar book, and issue 4 was no exception. Like, I just can't get enough. Just can't get enough.
So you got to it. So that means like it's. So how does your stack work, Sean? By hype.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Well, I try to read what I am least excited about first and work my way up to what I'm most excited about. But if I'm reading something that I want to talk about on the show, I'll get to that first. So like Green Lantern Corps, I read because I was so excited about it. I wanted to be able to say a little bit about it during the stack segment when I'm showing the books off. So if I've read something that I can talk about on Palspables, it's because I was really excited about it. Gavin Guidry said, "Man, I wish this was a convo I could add my 2 cents to because y'all are killing me." Well, what do you have to say? Come on.
Get in
What
here,
do you mean?
coward.
Say
You know what time it is.
Yo, send in the link.
If you want to, Gavin, if you want to jump in, the floor is yours. I have no idea what we could have said. I'm assuming it was about the Messina.
Look, I'll take the
Oh,
heat.
He can't add it
Yeah, I'll
publicly.
take the heat. Oh.
Okay, so we'll talk to you at Comic-Con.
Oh.
Cool.
Hey, our DMs are open, man. I don't like to wait for information. I don't like to be teased.
My DMs are open
I
for
like to
anything
get
too,
to it.
so you can have fun with it if you want.
Anything.
Atomic Hound says, I was actually thinking about this today. In the 1970s, this book would be the standard 22 pages, but at times the main story would be 14 pages with an 8-page backup.
That's quite a backup.
Yeah. Oof. I mean, well, that's another question. How about this one? Would you prefer the way things are right now with Ultimate Spider-Man, or would you like it if Chiquetto did that kind of split, like 14 issues of
Nope.
the main story? It gets it gets truncated, and then there's an 8-page backup by Messina.
No.
No.
Because, like, what's the content of the backup, right? Like,
And then I also think you need to, like the plot needs to change then, because then you're shifting it. Like, sure, they're telling the story with Uncle Ben and J. Jonah Jameson, but it's also weaved into the story, so it's integral into the story's flow in a particular issue. If they were like, all right, Messina's doing Daily Bugle backups, and Chiquetto's doing the main thing, I don't know if that would be what Hickman was going for. I don't know, but
He wouldn't be able to do it anyway.
wow, no faith.
I mean, you read that book.
Man, you guys ever read the Chiquetto Greg Rucka Punisher?
No.
Oh man,
I don't know.
that's when it was like a girl Punisher kind of slipped in for a bit before the internet was full of chuds. Don't worry, Frank was still there, but that shit was good.
Very good. That was very, very good.
He getting slipped in?
Hey,
So we talked about the Mark Waid interview that we did on Tuesday. Make sure you guys check that out if you have not. This Saturday, we're going to be doing the final installment of the direct market deep dive. I was working on that before we went live. I'm really excited about it. So make sure you come for that. And as always, Monday, we will be live. Well, we won't be live, excuse me. We will not be live on Monday, but Pal's previews will be. And we'll be talking a little bit more about Pal's previews later on. So,
Sean, are we talking Eisner noms this weekend too?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hell yeah.
Y'all can put your bets in.
Definitely. I have some thoughts about I do not like award shows.
It's a little
I have particular thoughts this year, but yeah, it's very masturbatory.
Yeah.
I'm not into that.
the DC awards. You mean?
The DC / what the fuck is this award show?
Okay, I don't say any more.
whoa.
I'm curious. Save that load
Just
for
because
Saturday.
you don't read it.
You all know my thoughts. I say them every single year.
Sean's gonna
And-
pick
and-
Santos Sisters as the best ongoing.
Yeah. Marco, it's not even a thing where like I don't think those books like I love that they exist. But how is it that every year the awards are won by books that nobody has read? Like come on. There has to be some type of popular books on which I'm not complaining about this year. I think by and large they got it right this year. But like there has to be some popular books. So what is this? The fucking Oscars or whatever?
It's all about taste.
Somebody's
Yeah.
taste.
Listen, it's all bullshit till I get it. Then it's the greatest award show on the planet.
I agree. They have a section for like
News source.
Yeah, did we get
media,
nominated
yeah.
this year, or we got snubbed?
We got snubbed.
Damn it,
and we get
again.
snubbed every year.
Damn
and
it.
the fact that they snub us proves that the whole thing is a sham. So who gives a fuck anyway?
What podcast got nominated?
I don't know.
I think we might be up for. We're still up for an Emmy, possibly. I think they got added to the Emmys this year. Best podcast.
That would be sick. I could use an Emmy.
Yeah.
I could do a lot with that. Damn you all with the $20. Thank you. And no message.
Yeah. He
Just
said
a free $20.
no.
Damn.
He said
Oh.
I heard it. Yeah.
yep.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
He'll follow up the message. It's all on SFX.
Well, he better pay us again to read it.
I agree with Izzy. Izzy says the best award show every year is the Pallies. And you know why? Because we don't take that fucking thing seriously. We don't.
I do. Like all award
No, you
shows
don't.
should be. They should be serious.
it's all in good fun. So, you guys should wait for that because that's when you'll find out who the real best creators in the industry are. Marowak Oscuro, that was going to be my thought, and we shouldn't be talking about this today, but that was going to be my thing. Was where the fuck was Dan Mora?
Save it. Save it. He's probably drawing more books. Too busy.
Well, yeah, he
Yeah.
he can't even pay attention. He got his head down.
Too busy to get nominated.
Yeah.
They don't have
Yeah.
their heads up because they missed all the amazing shit he's been doing all year long.
Well, they got it up somewhere.
I like that.
He had to
All
walk
right.
through the door with that one.
Let's talk. Let's talk about Batman Dark Patterns. This is written by Dan Waters with art by the incomparable Hayden Sherman. We also have Triona Farrell on colors and letters by Frank Vekovic. Was Hayden Sherman even nominated?
I don't think so.
Come,
I haven't looked at all of them. I haven't looked
Not.
at all of them. And also,
Haven't
I
seen
got to know where the cutoff is too. 'Cause
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
it might be like December, so only like one issue of each came out at that point. But we'll see.
fair enough.
First issue was fire, so
Agreed. We'll talk more about that at the on the Saturday show. So this issue is the finale of the Scarface building arc, the Batman the Raid arc, where we finally sort of learn who the real or who's in control of Scarface now, or who Scarface is in control of now. I guess you could say, and more of the awesome stuff that we've kind of been getting throughout this whole arc. I guess um, this was my pick of the week. This was my pick of the week. I don't feel as high on this one as I did the prior two issues, and maybe that's just because it's the one that gives us the answers. I was more intrigued by the questions.
Yeah.
Yo, mystery box problem.
Yeah.
Right. But first of all, the issue gives us this fucking page, which I
Oh,
adore.
I didn't like
I was
it.
gonna
This
bring
was
that
so
one up.
cool.
No, that one scared me.
Me too. That's why I love it. It's just
Good.
it's like Scarface's visage in this smoke, because they blew up the building, which was sick as hell. And just a lot of the visuals were awesome. The colors really popped this issue. Almost more than because I think Hayden Sherman's been the star of every issue. But in this one, I'm almost inclined to give the nod to Triona Farrell, whose colors added so much vibrancy and life to this particular issue of the comic. Like as the building is burning, just I don't know how good it comes across on the screen there, but these colors are just amazing looking. I thought this was awesome, and it ends. First of all, I like the story of the woman who sort of, becomes the new the new connection point to Scarface. I liked her story. She was an abused woman and, kind of gets her takes her power back, so to speak. But I also like that in the end, to the characters in the book, it's kind of like what actually happened, because one of the guys is like, oh, she said it was Peterson's voice, her partner's, who's been lying on the slab since last night. And then he says auditory hallucinations are a possible side effect of carbon monoxide inhalation. And Batman says, yes, that's all it was. That's all it could have been. And we know that's not true. What if it is?
I think that was coming through a lot more in this issue, and that was the part that I felt like didn't land as well. That there were these things that were like explain this, but also it could be, and I never felt like there was a good distinction a lot of the time in that case, right? Something same with like where yes, she's controlling the voice now, but she's but the building is also still kind of talking to her, and whether that's just like her hallucinations. um I, still a strong issue, but I didn't think the like what if landed as well for me as it has in the past in like the previous issues, because in that first one that was the whole premise, right? Is like, is it echoing? Is it really all this? And now we've gotten too many answers.
For me, the this I'll preface this by saying I did enjoy this issue. I thought it was very good. I thought Hayden Sherman's art is phenomenal, and I thought the story was actually pretty interesting too. But I'm with y'all with this being my least favorite of the three issues for this arc. Um, because I think it was that. The mystery can only be better than the actual solution. So then they can't really have a solution. And everything literally goes up in smoke. So do all the mysteries. They just kind of, all right, well, it's Chinatown, Jake, you know? They don't really answer it, which is fine. It's fine. But oh, it looked good. Specifically the pages where Wesker and Batman are walking up like the almost like the catacomb like interiors of this place where it's like no guardrail. It's like the same person who designed this designed the Death Star. Like it's just open area. Everyone can fall. I had some questions on the medical logistics of just reattaching a tongue because it was on ice. Like, I don't
Yeah,
think he's going to be able to talk, right? I'm not sure the nerves will just automatically work the same way, but hey.
so maybe there's like a different he has a different accent. It's not
Yeah,
transatlantic anymore.
exactly. Yeah. I got to stop overthinking that in a story about a sentient doll that then controls an entire apartment building. So, whatever. Leave that at the door. I thought it was really good. Not my pick of the week, but definitely a pull for me.
Yeah, I please.
No, no, finish, go.
I enjoyed the hell out of this. I feel exactly the same way though. This was gonna be the weaker one because it's the denouement, we see Batman do some detective shit and then he solves it. That I lit up at that page that Sean held up, with the Scarface over standing over Wesker. I like took a second and I was like looking at like the proportions and like how that would, like affect Wesker. He's always in the shadow of Scarface, and Scarface is always watching over him. We know this isn't the end. Man, yeah, I thought this was even still, I thought this was really, really good. And I really love that this is we've said this previously, but I love that this is a Batman that feels timeless. He just like I was really looking at the shape of his cowl, and it's got the Adam West eyebrows, but it's a slightly darker blue than the Adam West suit, and it's that the the emblem of the great big 80s one with the blue, and it's just, man, this whole book is just so good. um and collected this three issue arc, this ending in particular, I think will play out very well.
Yeah.
Very strong.
Go ahead,
How
Mike.
did you guys feel about the parts where, like, suddenly, uh, Batman just walks into the apartment and has solved the mystery? Um, it felt a little trite to me, where he's just like, "Oh, this is what happened, and this person wasn't. The husband was cruel, and then you had started to have like a fling with her, and then the doll came in, and then like there were so many just assumptions that it felt like, well, I solved this because I was Batman, that I felt didn't jive with me all too well.
mm, I could see that. It's very Sherlock Holmes, like it's very, this is the type of detective Batman is. But I think, with the picture that we've had painted for us, um, within the previous issues of that relationship, I think, when you put it all together, you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, I think that was fine. It's kind of like I tended to dislike the like, all right, now we're going to explain everything you've just seen. Um, but it doesn't exactly explain everything we've just seen, because even Batman himself isn't sure what really happened with Scarface. And I like that. I really appreciate when a story can kind of leave you with that last lingering question. And Scarface is one of the best characters in Batman's rogues gallery for that. Because is it Wesker? Is he just mentally ill? Or is Scarface really a ghost or a puppet that can possess people? I think as readers, we kind of know that Scarface is real, but even Batman doesn't know. After all this, and the way he easily solved the whole mystery and everything else, he still doesn't know. And I like that. Um, yeah, I can't wait to see what they have in store for the next arc. I know Tyler said it was going to be gang related. Um, so that's
Yeah,
not as compelling, but I'm in. Great
gang,
series.
possibly Court of Owls. Yeah,
I did want to do one last shout out on the Sherman art. One of the things that they do really well is, and we've called it out in the past, that this is a very, this is a simple panel, like a simple page. It has four panels, but they're kind of spread about, like spread around, as if we're kind of zooming in on certain things in the room.
Yeah.
Sherman has this really good ability to uh, make the 2D space that we're in feel 3D, be it like in this case, the angle that we're sitting at.
it,
It feels flat, but then there's
yeah.
like a slight twist of the panels that we're in. So it gives it a bit of dimensionality, and you're realizing, oh, this is something that's in there, or this is in there, like I can feel it almost popping out.
I'd like to know if they have a background in graphic design in any way. It almost feels like
Mm,
UI design
sure.
and trying to guide your eye to specific parts of the book in a non-traditional way.
DVD menu design.
I was thinking original Xbox 360 blades.
Wait.
I like the non-linear. I like that.
Yeah,
It's like
but
in
it still works storyline wise. Like
100%.
yeah,
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 100%.
storytelling. Yeah.
It's like it feels rounded. It always feels rounded.
Yeah,
Love
the
it.
angles they choose are always so interesting and impressive. And it's like that page that Marco called out, lots of books do that in the sense of lots of books will want you to see something and they'll zoom in on it, but they're not going to do it like this. The page layout isn't going to be like this. It'll be, a smaller panel that it's just a square.
Yeah.
Hayden finds ways to do interesting things with the typical. And that's one reason of many to appreciate their work.
Yeah.
Pick of the week for me.
Pull. Strong pull.
Very strong pull.
Strong pull, but it's a strong week, so it's not my pick of the week. I almost feel like this week was maybe a little too strong. Can we spread these out a bit? I feel like we've had a couple weeks where it's like, okay,
Y'all need to calm down.
yeah.
There's other weeks.
Last week was a strong week.
Yeah.
The past 3 weeks actually.
No, there was a
It was
week
like
where I had
one or
trouble
two.
picking mine.
One or two passes.
45% of you guys pulled this book. 40% didn't buy or read. That's a very high number.
Y'all are sleeping
What's
on
up?
it. What's
Wow.
the price on this one again?
It is, I believe it's $4.99. It is.
$4.99.
Ugh, we're drawing the line there
Standard
now,
cover.
huh? Yeah, standard cover at this point is that. Yay.
You know what's the worst part? Is this one feels worth $4.99.
Don't
Yeah.
say that out loud, Cal.
Listen,
They're gonna hear you. Mr. DC Comics might be in this chat.
they did it right with this one. Why can't they do that with Absolute Batman?
Charge you $7 because they heard you.
Well,
It is weird though. Like this is $4.99, but Aquaman's $3.99. Like, what is the thought process here? Supergirl also $3.99.
Hey.
I think you can kind of intuit that a miniseries by, a creator like Hayden Sherman, who's, doing incredibly detailed work like this. That's probably how they're justifying it.
I also,
Yeah, go ahead.
but Dan Waters too. I think on the up and up. He's still doing his climbing. I think he's worth the $4.99.
Yeah.
Luna shouts it out here. This is a DC Universe app book for me. It's fair, hear the hype, wait for the stuff to drop. Respect the game. It's price sensitive.
You think this is $4.99 just because it has Batman on the cover?
Probably.
I think it's probably
Wouldn't
that simple.
surprise Yeah.
Um, Hayden's Hideout said, since this is a Batman who was early in his career, I could forgive him dismissing the supernatural, since he may not have interacted with the likes of Swamp Thing, Constantine, and Zatanna. I like a Batman who is skeptical. And it's harder to do that and like justify that in the reader's mind the more experiences you're aware that he has had. So
Yeah.
this time frame where he can still be that character is very fun.
Yeah. C.W. Gordon said Scarface's definitive story and didn't even need some gimmicky one bad day nonsense. This is how it's
Word.
done. Yep.
What Scarface story is even talked about?
Yep.
Probably the Al Pacino movie,
Well,
Well,
which I've never seen.
all right. Let's jump into Supergirl. This
Hey
is
now.
one of the wow. One of the most anticipated new number ones of the year so far, I would say. This is written and drawn by one Sophie Campbell. And Sophie is joined by Tamra Bonvillain, who is all over the place. So this is and Becca Carey on the letters. This is very much a kind of like baby's first Supergirl book, in the sense that you can read this without a ton of knowledge about. I have very little knowledge of Supergirl, and I didn't really feel particularly lost. I think that there's enough information here for you to be able to jump in and not be too lost in what's going on. There are some references to the history of the character and things like that, but you can read the story just fine. As Supergirl kind of reluctantly returns to Midvale, which is, where she spent her youth and things like that. But something is wrong in Midvale. They're worshiping Supergirl, but not necessarily our Supergirl. Tyler, is this your pick of the week?
It is not, but I
Oh,
enjoyed it. I really like this issue. I thought this feels like a type of DC comics that I'm not reading at this point. It's a real throwbacky feel. Like, hey guys, remember Thought Bubbles? This book's got them, and I think Sophie kind of nailed them. I really like the thought bubbles here. It felt like me talking to myself. I live alone. It's a lot of talking to myself, and I felt seen in a comic in that way. Like she's talking about like, oh, well, these people recognize me. What hair color should I have? How do I want to present myself for this social event that she's essentially doing with herself. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a little. I had to explain a lot because I think it was pulling back a lot of old Supergirl lore. Like I know Supergirl to an extent. This is stuff that I don't even know. The Midvale stuff, her being Linda, was something I was briefly aware of, in a small sense, but like that really kind of coming to be story that they're telling here. All new to me, even though I know it's old. So it did some heavy lifting there with some caption boxes and some explaining. But man, I love the art. Sophie Campbell is phenomenal. She, I think I talked about it on Pal's Previews, but she did Glory for Image Comics way back when, that I loved. And seeing her do this with Tamra colors, and Tamra loves a primary color. Guess what? So does Supergirl. This book is full of them. I think it looks great. Maybe something, I think everyone kind of has like the Weekend and Roman Reigns type veneers in this. But outside of that, I thought this was a really, really good time.
um, I will echo that I had fun with this, and I, because I don't know the character, I think the book presented a lot of information that one, if I wanted to, I can go back and explore. There were mention of like previous adventures, the fact that she goes to Candor, the fact that she will has a cat. Like, all right, now I gotta Google that.
You don't know
Um,
about Streaky?
nah, bro. And I think that aside, it never felt like I needed to know those things. There was a moment, and I'm trying to find it, where I wish it was like editor's note, please come back to. I can't find it now, but it did have an instance or two of that, but it wasn't a blocker. And because of that, I felt like I got to know who Kara was in this book. And halfway through, I was like, okay, I'm getting this understanding. I'm in the setting, but what are we doing? Where are we going? And then that's where the new Superman, or the new Superman, the new Supergirl is kind of like seemingly invading her life, and I stopped to recognize. I'm like, oh wait, I asked the question and she answered. This was well constructed, and on the art front, I think overall clean communication. This was a great example of just a good introduction, um, a good tease, and well done comics. So I had fun with it.
It felt more like an Archie book than a DC book in a way.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might have been a bit more of my problem with it. I didn't dislike it. I thought it was fun, and I did have a good time. But I actually really didn't enjoy the thought bubbles. I found them to be a bit too old of a style for me to be comfortable with. Like it just felt it felt too explainy. Like I'm looking at the page where she gets splashed in the face with the purple stuff. And she says it's changing somehow. Natasha said it would be immune to everything. Well, she's already like explaining what we're seeing. The obviously the stuff is, you know, changing what's on her suit. We see that in the panel previous. It felt like an older style, and Sophie said that she'd been reading a ton of old Supergirl, and this felt a little bit too much like that for me. I really like the art, and I'm really intrigued by the mystery, but the overall style that's put forward here by Sophie just didn't style narrative style, I think, with the thought balloons and everything being a little bit over explained didn't work for me.
Yeah, this was very much not for me. I agree with what Cale said about the thought balloons. Immortal Thor did the same thing. It does the same thing, and I read that this week as well. And it's got thought bubbles, but they are important to the story overall. Whereas I felt like these were it was just being cute and cheeky that they were using that style, and I don't actually think it enhanced the book for me. Um, I didn't really love that, and then this just feels very slice of life from a superhero bend, and that's just not what I'm. It's not what I'm here for. Um, I got to the last page, and I was like, all right, well, do I care to come back and find out what's going on with this imposter girl? Not really, because I didn't care about what was happening before. So I was hoping for something that would allow me to connect with Supergirl on a deeper level, but not on this level. This feels like it's written for a much different audience than me. Like I think this would be great to put in the hands of a younger girl, like a teenage girl, and I think that this would play really well with the YA crowd. But this isn't for me.
For me,
Sean,
sorry, cat in the way.
Sean, you tell
Yeah,
me these ties aren't for
I
you?
was gonna say.
Now those are for me. I don't know, but I mean that's elite milk. But who is that? Like
That's the question.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
find out, bro.
No, that's not the question. That's very clearly Supergirl.
No, god damn it,
Oh,
that
sorry,
works
sorry.
because this is a DC book. That's a
Come
good
on.
joke. Damn it. I like this feels like with the Summer of Superman, we got all these Superman books coming out. How many books does Superman himself have, including Absolute? Like we got Action, Superman, Superman Unlimited, Absolute Superman, Crypto coming out, and now we have Supergirl. I'm okay with Supergirl being the slice of life Archie book. Like I think there's room for that, and I think that's a character that it works for. And it's not everyone's cup of tea. I think most people in the chat are like, yeah, it's not for me. But recognizing like it could be for someone else, that's good. And I'm liking it. I thought it was good. It's enough to warrant an issue 2 for me for sure. It's not Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, that's for sure. The last Supergirl book we had, I think, was that. And it is wildly different from that. But I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think I was hoping for something a little bit more thoughtful in that vein, not with the sensibilities of Tom King necessarily, but maybe with the sensibilities of Sophie Campbell. But this is the route they went on, and that's fine. You know, there is an audience for this, and it is a different flavor of DC comic. It makes me think about Fire and Ice as well. So they're kind of doing that in certain spaces, and that's cool. But every now and then you read a book and you can just recognize I'm not going to critique the creative decisions in a book that's not for me. I'm not going to buy DuckTales, the comic or whatever, and be like, oh, yeah, this is, and criticize it. It's not for me.
You Huey, Dewey, or Louie guy, Sean?
I couldn't tell you a single thing about Huey, Dewey, or Louie.
Nah, you're a Launchpad guy. I get it.
Don't
No,
even know
come
who that
on.
What's the robot, Cal?
Ooh, I
Big
know it.
buff
It's in
robot
there.
with the mono
I,
wheel.
I
Yeah.
know it.
It's
It's in there. That dude rules.
Yeah.
No, Sean's a Darkwing Duck
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
Now that
See?
I can fuck with.
That's
I
something
love
you can get
Excuse me?
behind.
I'm a Launchpad guy. I like Launchpad.
This will
Darkwing
surprise
Duck.
no one. Scrooge over here.
Oh, 1000%. Actually, I'm probably a Donald guy if I'm being honest. But
Damn.
Marco's Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
all
I
three
was about to
combined.
say, yeah, all
Yeah,
three of them.
come on.
Yeah, yeah. That's what's under this shirt actually.
Ismo.
Just no nipples. It's just just Huey, Dewey, and
Ducks.
Louie tattoos.
Yeah.
I'm a pass.
Okay.
I'm a pull
Okay.
for the construction of this, but might not come back.
I'm a pull, and I will be continuing it.
I think I'm a. I would recommend this. Also recognizing that it's not my thing, but I am at the same time interested in where it goes. So sort of a pull.
Pull.
Kurt Wildschid, actually, great shout out here. He says, okay, follow me on this. The tone of the Supergirl book reminds me of a ton of the old Patsy Walker Hellcat series.
Yeah.
Also
absolutely.
very cute and slice of life. I'm not sure if you're talking about the Kate Leth series from the 2010s.
1000%.
Probably that.
Yeah, 1000%.
Which I loved that book. And it's very much that. It's a bit Snot Girl. It's a bit Hellcat. It's kind of in the same vein as Power Girl, which just ended as well. So if that's your bag, I think this would work for you.
43% of you say pull. Didn't buy or read is 28% of you. Pass is 19%. And pick of the week is 8%. So
It's pretty positive.
yeah, overall you guys are into it. That's good. Hayden's Hideout says I would recommend this to specific people, but not everyone. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
For sure.
Ben Loudly said this is what I was thinking. Not a thick variant cover in sight. Where were they? I went to my LCS looking for a thick variant, and they didn't have one. Come on
That's
now.
crazy. With the 2 C's.
I'm going through the issues too. Issue 2, no. Man. Yeah, no. That's a lot of Archer is getting work. I'll give him that. I love. My problem is that like a lot of AI art has used Art Germ as like inspiration. It feels like it's been churned out. But the issue 2 Art Germ is good. Damn. Oh man, issue two's cover has your favorite thing, Marco. It has dialogue on the cover.
Oh, way nice. It's gonna
Yeah,
sell books. It's the strategy.
and Titano, the super ape.
Matt Clinkscale says, "Did y'all talk Dark Patterns already?" First of all, Matt, I have not seen your name in the chat before, so thank you for commenting and welcome. Glad you're hanging out with us. We did talk about Dark Patterns, so might want to rewind a little bit to probably about 15 minutes back. We were talking about that. Overall, though, we enjoyed it. We really enjoyed it.
One shout out too. I don't know if anyone's mentioned it, but I think this is the first fully trans team on a comic with Sophie and Tamra on colors. So
Sophie Campbell is
Is
trans.
yeah.
I didn't know Sophie was trans, but is Becca Carey?
Oh, I forgot. I was going off of the cover, but yeah.
Um, Chris said, "I don't know why. I just don't like the smile on this cover. It creeps me out." Art Germ's style can have that quality every now and then. I do agree with that.
When Artgerm hits like that like tilted angle, like not directly on, that's when the sweet spot is for Artgerm. The full frontal facial, that I could have worded that much better.
Pardon?
Ay, ay, ay. All right. Let's leave the DC block of books and jump into the indie space. In this case, indie means Image Comics, and it means Invincible, a very, very popular franchise, making its return not with its titular character, Invincible, but instead with Battle Beast, a very popular character from the Invincible universe, who's getting an offshoot with this issue. I think Battle Beast has kind of become even more popular in the aftermath of Invincible than he necessarily was during the run. So that's kind of cool.
Shows definitely helped it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. This is written and drawn though by the Invincible creative team, Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ottley, rejoining to tell this story, and joining them is Annalisa Leone on colors and Russ Wooten on the letters. This issue is just like, what's what's a reason why Battle Beast can fight? Like, that's it. That's all it is. It's, hey, Battle Beast is a beast in battle, a beast in combat, and he needs new enemies. And he's on this ship that he's killed everybody on, and the AI of the ship is kind of like, you know what? I can stand to see you dead. So, would you like me to try to find people to kill you?
I
And
love
Battle Beast
that.
is like, yeah, that sounds great. So they go to some place, and Battle Beast gets in a fight with a massive creature that's supposed to be super strong, and it doesn't really go that well for the creature. And that's the long and short of this issue.
I like how dumb this book is. Like how Supergirl was a breath of fresh air in terms of like being a throwback. This is a breath of fresh air. It's just like this is the Coca-Cola of comics. Like there's nothing to it besides just like sugary fun.
I don't know about that.
You think there's a little
I
substance here?
Well, I think it's clever enough
Sure.
that it justifies itself, and that makes it not just the Coca-Cola of it all.
Crystal Coke, Crystal Pepsi,
Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cherry Coke. Let's
Uh,
go with that.
like the AI being like, "Oh no, actually, you do fucking suck. Let's go try and kill you." I
Yeah.
think is really. It's a really clever story engine.
What is with Kirkman in the year 2025 making embodied AI characters
That
This
are
is the
good.
This is the third one.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it's fine. It's got a fun voice that Battle Beast can bounce off of, and I like how thematic. I've not read Invincible, so bear with me. But I believe Battle Beast shows up in Invincible, does his thing that we see at the beginning, and then pieces out for a good amount of issues, and eventually comes back. I think because people wanted him back. This is in between that, so it justifies itself in the greater Invincible lore as well, which I think is like cool. It's like, hey, this was what was happening when Invincible was doing all of this shit before Battle Beast came back. So it's kind of like the lost moment that we've gotten.
This was my pick of the week. this shit was just dumb fun. I it started the way it started out. To Kale's point, like it felt like it was just gonna meander. This is just gonna be a bloodbath. We're not gonna have something here. And then you're right. The AI says something, and kid, that's what kicks off the story. Oh, cool. We know what's up. He knows what's up. The reader knows what's up. Done. Instant communication, right? There's no bullshit here, and I really appreciate that. That felt really nice coming from Kurtman, just like looking at the camera and saying, "Hey, strap in."
Well, and that's just trust in Ryan Otley.
Yeah.
Otley
Yep.
can do this, and he does so well with this. There's that bit where he punches the dude's potato sticks looking teeth out, um, and it's Otley loves a blood splatter. Otley loves a cracked bone, and these two creators just really understand each other and know each other's strengths, and just they're in sync. They're gelling. Yeah, this is just like, man, this looked good.
I really enjoyed this. Um, First of all, Ryan Otley still one of the best artists working in comics, even if we don't get to see him much. Um, I am not too familiar with Invincible. I've watched some of the show, read some of the comics, but I'm not a diehard fan or anything like that, so I don't care about the characters. But I do care to look at really, really, really beautiful art. And Ryan Otley delivers that. This is a blood fest, this fight. It's a little bit of a gore fest, but you got to have a stomach for it. But it doesn't I don't think it ever gets like too brutal. Like it's not like, "Oh my God, I can't look at this."
It's still
And
cartoonishly gory. Like you can,
yeah,
like you say, you can still look at it.
right. It's not like, yeah, okay, this guy's eyeball's poking out. That's pretty over the top. But that's different than, watching Punisher like just wantonly gun people down. Like you kind of take it differently.
Yep.
Um, and if this book had no dialogue at all and you could only look at it, it would be great. But that's not what it is. Ryan Otley's part is phenomenal, but Robert Kirkman does his thing too. And what I'm learning about Robert Kirkman is that I love him not for the way he delivers like the big bombastic moments, but it's how consistently good he is page by page. Like one big idea was all that I felt like I got out of this, which was the AI that talks to Battle Beast and wants to help him die, you know? But that's enough. That's enough. That's all we need. It's a very simple issue that understands exactly what it has to do to be good, and it does everything well. What more can you ask for?
Yep.
And I think shout out to Annalisa Leone. Like there's the big fight scene we get in this. These are aliens we're dealing with, so the blood is green. But she uses reds to fill out the outer spaciness of it. Like the reds
Hmm.
are still there, but they're not where you would expect, which kind of leans into this otherworldliness of this space comic. And like for a book that's, Battlebeast's kind of a bad guy, but like he's our protagonist here. Um, it's a lot of primary colors. It's kind of bucking the superhero trend and leaning, and then like the reds are in space. The reds are, he's wearing this like almost big Barda color scheme that his armor is. Um, oh, the colors really, really popped out to me.
I mean, just to further that point, in the action sequences in the background, all you see are like these the edges go from red and then they transition into a yellow, crossing the colors through there. That's some Dragon Ball Z shit. That's some, like Power Ranger shit in the background. You're
Yeah.
you're there, we're fighting, where it's all action packed and the environment is telling you that.
This is a bit of a tangent, but uh I listened to Rob Liefeld's podcast, and he talked about the 90s and how great they were and how great, the 90s nostalgia is and all that shit. He was talking about art. He was saying that in comics today, nobody is really looking at what made 90s art work. and taking that, and it was the exaggerated poses, it was the big bodies, it was the, everything else. And take or leave Robert Liefeld as a person. But what I can't argue with, or what I would say about Ryan Otley, is that he definitely learned the right lessons from the 90s in the sense that he knows how to make shit look really cool. He knows how to make stuff very dynamic. He knows how to do his big action. And he knows how to make it widescreen. He knows how to make it exciting and pop. For that, he's one of the best in working today. And in that lineage of style. It's great.
Do we
Tyler,
know?
you ever?
Go ahead, Kel.
Sorry, you ever watched the show
Do I have
Invincible?
Oh, the show. I watched the first season. Yeah. I think we're like, do I ever watch this show? I'm like, no, I edit it. Yeah, of course I do.
Did you know Battle Beast is done by Michael Dorn?
I did know that. Yeah, that's Worf, baby. Yeah.
Did you? Yeah. Did you see that he basically was like, the note given to him was basically like, could you be a bit more, space warrior? And Michael Dorn was like, do you just want me to be Worf? I can do Worf. And Kirkman was like, listen, I'm not gonna ask you to do Worf.
Worf is
But
the best,
the
man.
planet that he comes from is Dorn.
Oh,
Yeah.
in this,
Oh,
Yeah.
good, cool.
I like that.
Cool.
So yeah, I heard all this almost word for word as Michael Dorn too, as
Oh,
Worf.
cool.
So it's great.
Yeah,
like that.
Izzy says, "I get this cat some prune juice." Ah, a warrior's drink.
I like the end too, where Battle Beast keeps that little weird creature alive. Seems
Yeah.
like there may be something to that.
That'll be our
Um,
emotional hook.
Right. I
What?
actually thought this was a single issue. I didn't realize that this was an ongoing series.
Yeah. New
Ongoing
series.
in the year
word.
2025. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that little guy. It's very much the opening of Men in Black in a way. When the guy's head opens up, looks like me when I was born premature. But I think that is the bad guy. I think it's the guy he killed. I think it's the remnants of him.
Yeah.
And he's gonna come
Yeah.
back. Yeah. So it'd be cool to see how now there's a character that we have that has a grudge. It's gonna be hiding from him, but also
Did
somebody he can
I-
talk with.
I thought that he said that was food. That's just like a snack for later.
Yeah.
I mean, he said that, yeah, but
Oh, I see.
you know,
He kept him alive, so
yeah. Pull.
yeah. Pull
Easy pull.
Yeah. pull
another
for me.
strong pull.
Pick of the week.
Mikey J said he got the second issue of Battle Beast. Yeah, they were doing some of these second issues in the blind bags.
The blind bags, yeah, you can get a bunch of stuff. You can get Invincible and Spider-Man team up, which right now
Oh,
is
that
going
was in
for
there?
like $30. Yeah.
Oh, sick.
You can get issue 2 of this series, which is fucking nuts.
Mm.
And you know what? I might have something cool to show later.
Oh. Somebody got the blind bag.
Hey.
Kid. Damn, I should have
Smart.
done it, dude. I was at the shop and I said, "Oh no, we get the reviews for this. I don't need to spend money on it."
I almost went to the shop before speed dating too, but yeah.
My man, I'm looking at the reviews copy we got. I wish I
Terrible.
went and got a
I
blind bag
know.
just so I could actually read the book.
What's the deal with
God.
that? Can we talk to Mr. Image Comics himself? Like, why are we at 240p on these things?
Yo, facts.
Yeah, talk to Kirkman and say, "Hey, listen, we give Skybound a couple of bucks for
Yeah, like
Skybook.
it's done. Like, can't you just do like the source file or something?
Maybe they're worried about people posting it online or something.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
positive.
definitely
That's
what
what
it
it
is.
is."
You guys didn't buy this, didn't buy or read. 41%. I mean, maybe you bought it, but you didn't read it yet. Pull 36%, pick of the week 11%, pass 10%. I can see this not being for everybody, especially if you're not a fan of Invincible. Yeah.
It's pretty close to right down the middle. Yeah,
Mhm.
But
I wouldn't have had this on my radar at all
Hmm.
because I can't handle Invincible. So
I think this is easier to recommend to people though. you know, it's not for everyone, but I would sooner recommend this to somebody than Supergirl, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's a totally different flavor. Like, what about this or Invincible?
It's the same thing.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's the same. This would appeal to the same crowd that, Invincible
Yeah.
appeals to.
Which that cartoon, man, is fucking huge.
No doubt. Ben Loudly says Ryan Otley and Ryan Stegman are essentially Greg Capullo 3.0. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Pete Collins, what's up, Pete Collins? Says, I thought the interaction with the smaller guy at the end was great. Like, Battle Beast maybe has a heart. Oh, nope, he doesn't. Everybody got to eat. We'll see. We'll see.
He might have more heart than you think he does.
How is there not a Battle Beast action figure? Like, this is the most toyetic fucking character
Oh, it's coming.
ever.
Battle
Like,
to- has
it's
to.
insane that there's not. I mean, there might be. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's not.
Oh, Lord, it's coming.
Not one ever? That seems crazy. But I don't know.
I mean, we don't have that many Invincible figures either.
Right,
So.
yeah. Silhouette says, where's Ryan Stegman at? We need that boy at Marvel again. What is Ryan Stegman
X-Men.
doing? Right. Duh. Yeah, of course.
Occasionally.
What the fuck?
Occasionally
That's
X-Men.
why we don't know where he is. We're
Yeah.
not reading his book.
That's good. It's good stuff there.
That's how I feel about Cyclops. I'm like, damn, I'm reading all these X-Men books. Where's Cyclops? I never
Where's my-
see Cyclops anymore because
my
he's in the
boy?
one I don't like.
Yep. And even if you are reading X-Men, if you blink, you'll miss Ryan Stegman's issue because it's very infrequent.
Hope you like Netho Diaz, which I do. I think it's pretty good.
He's good, but they're selling it on Stegman. And Silhouette, I saw you all up and down that fucking word balloon interview with Rom V, man. You were loving it. Rom V, a good get. Always
That
good.
happened right when the Eisner nominations came out, huh?
Yeah.
Did they bring that up?
Not that I
Okay,
noticed.
he got nommed. So
Izzy's issue says they did do a set of Invincible Hero Clicks. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I wouldn't have gotten into that though.
Hero clicks aren't real. They're not real toys, Izzy.
Wow.
if only there were a person on this podcast who really liked Invincible. That's never happened, right?
In the bygone era.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That skill set is now lost. I don't think any other of us have.
I mean, I could tell you what Invincible's about. Easy
Yeah.
enough.
I think it's more in pop culture now. Yeah, I have the Fortnite skin.
What was I going to reference? I don't remember. So that means we are going to talk about the next book. Exquisite Corpses, #1. This is the book that won the listener poll this week. This is the book that you guys wanted us to read overwhelmingly. It crushed the poll. And I totally get why. We're going to talk about why in just a moment. But before we do that, we've got a new poll up. And this one has some of your favorites and some new books. So we've got Sleep #1. I put the poll together and I don't remember what that is. So I will have to I'll have to look, I guess.
I tell you, it's a Xander Cannon book, which is he's the guy who did Taiju Max.
Yeah.
Which is that's an instant buy for me. I love that book. So I'm pumped to be on the ground floor for this.
What else did he do? He did something else, didn't he?
He's done a couple, but
apparently
that's what I
he was
really
in-
know him from.
He was in top 10 with Alan Moore, apparently.
Oh,
That's right.
Yeah.
So we've got that, but we've also got Spider-Man and Wolverine #1. This is the Kara Andrews, which I'm very excited about. And I think Mark Guggenheim is joining him, who I
Great.
have no thoughts about. So Bug Wars #4 is on there. And World's Finest by friend of the show, Mark Wade.
Real funny. You put the book with Batman Who Laughs on the poll. You're like, all right, let's see if we can shuffle him off to the side.
As much as I would like to say that, I did it because next week is actually fucking bonkers.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Guys, I would love it if we could talk about sleep on the show. So I'm gonna need those results to be pretty different.
I think the poll people are asleep for that one.
There you go.
I'm
Well,
gonna
we're not
need them to be
sleeping.
world's finest the other way around.
Well, I voted
Airball.
for you, Cale. Snooze ball.
We are not sleeping on Exquisite Corpses. Number one, we are getting it on the ground floor of this series. Thanks to the listeners for that. This is written by James Tynan the fourth, with Michael Walsh on art, colors by Jordi Belair, letters by Becca Carey, and apparently this is going to be kind of a creator playground, where there's going to be a lot of different creators who do work in this space. Um, and this issue is, first of all, it's massive. It's three times the normal size of an issue,
Yeah.
and there's a reason. It has a lot of introduction to do of this world, where it is essentially a world that is run by, the families, the richest, most powerful families in the world, and they kind of vie for um control, like taking control of things into their family, so that the country has to do things their way. And the way that they determine the winning family is basically by having a fucking Hunger Game. Um, and they all are gonna, go to this town that has been locked down, and they're gonna fight to the death. And the winning representative of the family will win control of the country for that family. Uh, Marco, was this up your street?
I hmm, yes and no. Like the the premise all the premise of a Hunger Games style battle royale works. And as we get, go into the individual players, the way that this looked and felt was cool. Um, but I felt like there was so much introduction to do that by the end of it, I was like, okay, uh, cool. I don't know if what we have here was enough. If this was enough to pull me in, um, and it gave me too much time to kind of like reflect. There was moments where it was just like back to back. The 13 colonies, whatever it were just this person and then this person introduction here. I'm like, all right, I'm getting it. I get it. And all of it to just end up with this opener to be like, now you're my guy. I felt like I didn't connect with this initial person and his plight, and yes, they all have power. Um, uh, I was hoping it would be, because I feel like Tinian is a good writer and the construction of the comic was done well. It just didn't connect with me.
This is my pick of the week. I loved this issue. I thought reading it, I was just eating it up. Every time they're introducing all the representatives for the original 13 colonies, and they have to like somehow, I guess, humanize the idea of a state. That I thought Tinian did in some really interesting ways, along with Michael Walsh. Like there's that one bit where New Jersey shows up, the delegate from New Jersey, and like he grabs New York by like the traps. He's like, "What's up, bro?" Like that feels like New Jersey in a way. Rhode Island is this meek guy, like smaller in a way. I thought that was really cool. And then meanwhile, they're showing all these assassins and murderers. That was really like it felt anime. It felt like a Super Smash Brothers reveal trailer. Like I heard the quick like thunk and then snapshot of who these characters are. It was dumb fun. I think some of the designs are awesome. Michael Walsh is insane. One of my favorite artists in comics right now. I love what Walsh was able to do on Silver Coin, and this is different from that. but he still manages to like really bring that home. Look at Michael Walsh's eyes on his characters. Everyone's looking places, and I think he has a real good knack for using characters' eyesights and where they're looking to show body language. That jumps out to me in this, especially when you have these 13 delegates from 13 original colonies, not fighting, but they are. But they can't physically fight, and where they are, so it's much more personality. It's much more body language. And then he gets to draw a guy with a giant circus hammer that smashes people's heads in. Like, it's just a lot of fun. I ate the shit out of this issue. I'm not sure how much the shtick of the series will get me. I know, I think it's issue 3. This creative team is on it, and then it shifts. I think it looks like halfway through the issue to Pornsack Pinochet and Valentin Delandro. And I'm guessing maybe it's another couple issues, and then they'll switch over to another creative team. Interesting to me. I'm not sure how that'll be pulled off. And the fact that there's like a transitory issue in a way is intriguing. But for this one issue alone, man, I love this. I thought this was great.
Yeah, this was my pick of the week. I actually weirdly normally I start with stuff that I am the least excited about, but this week I just I downloaded this and I just started, and I started sort of worried once I started sort of grasping the concept of what was going on and how many people they were introducing. And I was waffling, but then I found myself really intrigued by the the assassins and how they related to the people that hired them and what they represented, what card they represented. And then when Massachusetts finally comes in, and we've been following her conversation with this big beefy guy who I really struggled to care about. I just like what he was saying, what he was, what they were going for. He's just the type of character I just could not care any more about. She pulls out this mask, and then we see like his gimmick, for for her, and I went, all right, this rules. I'm in. It just it the it just paid it off so well. The way the mask sort of floats in his little intro caption, I just think it looks so cool. The one thing that I think really works here is the way Tynan does his scene changes. It just when you start to really feel compelled and you turn the page and it's something else, you're kind of like, there's a minute where you're sort of disappointed, but then you go on, and he does a really good job of getting you back into the scene. Like I'm looking at the later on in the haunted house, where I think his name's Javi, is he's jumping out at creepos or whatever in the haunted house, and he tries to text his boyfriend, but then we realize the signal isn't working, and then we remember, oh yeah, it's because they shut all the stuff down. And that's when we see Leopold the Strong, come at him. And it's just like, oh, this is kicking off. And like, I wanted to see more about like the network and how all that was going to work. But oh, now I'm invested here. Let's keep going. Yeah, this really worked for me. I was a lot less excited about the civilians because I think mostly they are going to be fodder. and they felt a lot like some of his characters in the Nice House series, just sort of obviously not faceless, but like just kind of bland. Um, but I think if they do it right, this could be this, those could also be very, very interesting. I
I,
really enjoyed this.
I was more interested in, I guess, the fodder relationships, just because those are the parts that like start to fall apart, and like those are the things that we start to see are consequences of the assassins. So I was more interested in those, and like I did appreciate how he was building up those things.
It's the everyday person is at the whims of the rich. Like I
Yeah,
know the pothead who works at the gas station. It's a punchline that he kind of does that whole preamble at the beginning. But like, no, he's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I wanted to respond to one thing you said, Marco, about it not having like a central character necessarily. I think this issue serves as an intro to the concept more than giving us a
For
character
sure.
to follow. Um, and I really dug that because unlike the Nice House characters, like there is actively uh we don't necessarily need to sit here and root for any one person, but everyone is actually different enough here where we can if we want.
Yeah, I this issue is 3 times the length of a normal comic, and I think I probably enjoyed like issues 1 and 3, but not two type thing. It was so long that I definitely felt the length tremendously. And I actually think that took away from my enjoyment of the book in a way, because it was just a lot. Like all those intros, I kept thinking as I was reading this about the first Suicide Squad movie. And I was like, yo, I
Yeah.
fucking hate that.
yeah,
I don't want to be thinking about that right now. But the intros were so that they're even sort of stylized like that. Like the whole rest of
yeah.
the book is in, very normal color, and then you boom, pretty boy. Like all right. I think I got the point of the concept, and then I was ready to see it, and then we don't really get to see it until the very, very end. So that kind of bothered me. Um, I did like some of the characters that we get introduced to. Like I'm very excited to see what who was my man? My favorite one was Rascal Randy. I can't wait to see what Rascal's about. That's New Jersey. I want to see what New Jersey does.
And they pulled I like the idea of the cards too. They pull like everyone pulls a
Yeah.
card, and that's the weapon of choice. So New Jersey
Yeah,
gets the hand, right?
Yeah.
So
hands,
it's
yeah.
just a fucking serial killer strangler, which like typical Jersey.
I'm also excited for the Fox Mask Killer.
Yeah.
Made me think of Sonic Fox, so that should be fun. And I think the book does a good enough job of like, yeah, there's not really a central character in the issue, but it's pretty clear that it's the lone gunman, right? Like it's pretty
Yeah,
clear that the book
yeah,
wants us to think about him and root for him. Not necessarily for Massachusetts, but for this individual guy. So I can get into that. I didn't dislike this. The Michael Walsh art is very good to Tyler's earlier point. It's awesome. And I like seeing him like this. But knowing that it's gonna switch creative teams is kind of a bummer. Not really that into that concept. It's almost like a jam session. Um, I'd rather see this creative team tell the story. And since that's not gonna happen, I'm a little bit worried about the future. But for a first issue that's 66 pages or whatever to come out for $5, it's pretty decent. So I'm not over the moon about this issue, but I do say pull.
Yeah, pick of the week for me. I had a ton of fun with this, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Same. Pick of the week.
pull, might not be up my alley, but I mean, I'm interested enough, I think, in the next issue.
You're pulling on the monetary deal alone. Two
Yeah,
issues for the
yeah,
price
off
of
the
one.
cost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see what the audience thought on this one. 44% did not buy a read. Pull is 32%, pick of the week 16%, and pass is 6%. Is that the highest pick of the week ratio we've seen tonight?
Tonight, yeah. Yeah, definitely for tonight.
Wow, surprising.
Cool.
Kurt says
Um,
the team has talked about wanting to bring the storytelling and hype of superhero events to horror comics, and I wonder if that's going to pay off. Interesting.
We will see.
I don't even know if I want them to go down that road, but all right, we'll see.
yeah.
Roger Hernandez says I was in till I heard the creative team switching. Yeah, that's very disappointing. Very disappointing to me. But hey, it worked in Silver Coin. It very much worked in Silver Coin. I think for me, why I like that approach more is because it wasn't the same story. Every
Right.
issue was a different creative team telling a different story in that world.
And it was still Michael Walsh on the art.
And it was still Michael Walsh. He was kind of that linchpin factor.
Yeah.
If you even told me that Michael Walsh was staying on and they were going to rotate writers, I would be down for that. We'll see how this plays out. I don't want to prejudge. But yeah, you can't beat this value. I'll say that much. There, $4.99 for this and $4.99 for Absolute Batman or whatever Batman Dark Patterns. Like this is more bang for your buck. What you like more or not, that's going to be
Ooh.
up to your taste.
Yeah, tough call. Batman Dark Patterns or this?
Well, that was my pick of the week.
Yeah, your pick of the week was this, Cal. You gonna flip flop?
Damn. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know that I had a binary choice. Damn.
Oh man, yeah, Roger, just give it a shot. I think if you like this issue enough, there's no reason for you, at least to the point that the creative team jumps off. I think it's worth a shot.
And it may even be worth, if you don't like that creative team, skip it, come back when you see someone you like, and see where it leaves off.
Yeah, we don't know who the third creative team is just yet, so at least it's not solicited. I don't know if it was announced.
They listed off in the Corpse Crew section, so the creative team page, which precedes the first page of the book. They list off all the creators involved: Adam Gorham, Che Grayson, Claire Rowe, Gavin Fullerton, Jordi Belair, Mariana Ignazi, Pornchak Pacheco, Tyler Boss, and Valentin Delandro. So I mean, you've got some really talented people involved.
Yeah.
Tyler Boss issues are gonna hit. That sounds fun.
Certainly. Cole says Tynan Luna, that's very funny. Luna said $5.99 for character intros.
Yeah, it's good.
Damn.
DLC.
I feel you. Cole said Tynan said he missed the DC writers room, so he did a similar thing for this. It's his idea, an overarching story, but they're allowing other creators to play in the margins. All right.
All right.
If I didn't read Tynion 1 through 3, are we still good for 4? Like if the listener hasn't read the rest, can they read at James Tynion the fourth book?
Oh, I see what you did.
Couldn't help myself.
Oh man. All right. So that gets us through. Oh no, I was about to say that gets us through all of our books. That gets us through our image block. But we've got one more book left, and that is Marvel's One World Under Doom.
Y'all forgot this was a Marvel podcast? Come on.
It's got Dormammu on the cover with this Doctor Doom Fushigi.
What the fuck is that?
Those are words?
You guys don't remember about the Fushigi? It was like the magic ball they would have like
the juggle.
Yeah, you would just like roll it in your
Yeah.
hands. Yeah. It was like an infomercial you would get like after the TV show, post 10 p.m. Somebody in the chat will get it. Somebody understands me.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I see it. I see it.
This is written by Ryan North with art by R.B. Silva, colors by David Curiel, letters by Travis Lanham. Do you like Doom? Ryan North does.
Oh, yeah.
I like a form of music called doomgaze. Doom gaze is one of my favorite forms of music. Ryan North loves doom glaze. That is the brand and flavor
wait.
and genre of this comic book. You
Is
muted yourself.
is Doomgaze like a play on shoegaze?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
All right.
Medium has a an article. What is doom gaze? An introduction and the history of a heavy ethereal underground genre.
Is that like Sleep Token?
Nah.
No. Okay. Sleep Token's been on the news. I thought this issue is what this series should have been.
Yeah.
This series should have been. Oh, I said series, and my Siri went off. It should have been a Doom's POV book, and we finally get in this issue, and I found it very compelling. Honestly, I think the previous two issues where the Avengers are being idiots the entire time was really annoying. So I think the storyline wise, this is much better than that. But yeah, I liked it. Didn't love it.
I really enjoyed this. I know Sean thinks Ryan North just likes Doom. Doom also likes Doom. Like, I think this is all very in character. And I like that, you know what? He does get his ass kicked. It does seem like he kind of comes out on top, but boy, he goes through it. I really enjoyed watching the struggle here because everything else has been, it seems like it's been a real cakewalk. And like Tyler said, like, I think that the failing of this event is that we haven't seen it from Doom's perspective, and getting this moment where we get to see inside him and he's like, oh, I've actually overstepped and I might not make it out of this. But I'm gonna plan and I'm gonna tell you what my plan is and hope for the best. And please.
I was saying, and there's that one bit like where he's like, I don't know if I'm gonna get out of it, and he's like, no, of course I am. I'm Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So even though we get that glimpse of vulnerability from Doctor Doom, quickly erased, which is a very Doom thing to do, and I think that was much better for me having that internal discussion that Doom has in this from his point of view.
Yeah.
He straight up was just like, and my entire soul rejects it. It is antithetical to every cell of my being. I'm like, hell yeah, dude, kick ass. And I feel like that's what this very much was. It was like a showcase of him just kicking ass, coming in, getting the business done, and hey, you know what? He prepares. Doom is always prepared, and it didn't work out the way he wanted. And it always all ties back to his ego, and I really really enjoyed that. The one thing that I had issue with this book was the coloring, where in a lot of series that even the ones we've read for today, they're all very delineated. I know where the reds are and the greens are and the blues are. Where here, there were a lot of instances where things just felt muddied in the backgrounds, the fires, the smokes, the brightness didn't always match. Like I have an example of this one.
Marco,
like,
were you here for the last issue? No, he wasn't.
No.
Okay, that's why I'm curious to hear it. Keep going.
This red doesn't complement the purple. There's just a lot of instances of this, and I started to notice it, and it took me out of the issue a little bit. But that was the only gripe I had with this. Otherwise, I had a lot of fun just seeing him persevere and ultimately try to like win.
So I had a whole Sean soapbox last issue about coloring in this, where I think we came to the conclusion it was puke green, and it was all of us found it hard to look at. I thought it was much better in this issue because you have two quote unquote villains fighting each other. It made sense for the coloring theme of the issue. And then the fires were orangey, which kind of complemented that. But like the primary color was Strange's cape on Doom. Like that was the big primary color, which was like there was the hero bit of him, kind of almost enshrining a traditional villain and the idea of like his hero as a villain. I thought that was good. I thought the coloring was better in this. There was no glaring issues where Madeline Pryor was a brunette instead of a ginger. So that's good. And I think it just the storyline of two villains fighting, the colors worked better.
I really did not like this issue, and I don't like this series. I just like I can't stand this what feels like a new trend to just endlessly glaze characters. Like shut the fuck up. I get it. Doctor Doom is Doctor Doom, but my God. I was very intrigued by the Dormammu aspect of this, and I really like how he kind of was like, hey, you could solve this right now, but you won't because of your ego. I thought that was a cool moment. But everything else, like, I just don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about Doctor Doom going schnicked. I think that's really stupid. Like, that is endlessly dumb.
No.
I think him using an optic blast is endlessly dumb. It feels very out of character. I think Doctor Doom would not in any way, shape, or form want to use their powers. Um, I was irritated reading this.
I think that's the crux of the turn in this issue, though, is that yes, Doctor Doom has ego. He is that is his driving force. He is the only solution to everything. But there's a bit of him here that did shift and realized, okay, I do need to use the heroes. In Power Set, he did Optic Blast, he did the Schnicked, he did Flame On, right? And then also like in the most dire possible way, he relies on them at the end. And he does the non-Doom thing to do.
Yeah, the second part I'll grant you, but why does he have to use Wolverine's claws?
Aura farming, I think the chat would say.
Right.
Yeah,
That's my problem with the comic book. I don't want aura farming comics. I want real comics with real story. And Doctor Doom using optic blast is just not that.
What
But
is
that's
what
not
is
him like flaunting it. Like,
what
like
is
he has
aura
the power.
Well, we need
Aura
some
farming
Gen
is just
Gen Z translation for Cale.
It's just trying to do cool shit so that people will be like, "Whoa, you're cool. You have aura," you know?
Oh, Absolute Batman.
Like aura
Batman
maxing.
AF,
Yeah.
right.
But is this not him? Just he is of an ego. He's flexing that he has this power. He can tap into anything.
If he could tap into anything, why would he want to use Cyclops' optic blast against Dormammu?
Because why not? He has it.
Because that's dumb.
Yo, he
That's
just-
dumb.
Nah, bro. I thought
But
it
also,
worked.
like, he could have. It doesn't. Okay, doesn't Cyclops' optic blast come from a different dimension?
It's a pocket dimension.
It's a pocket
that's-
dimension.
Yeah,
So
pure
it's technically
kinetic
magic
energy.
based. Yeah. So I guess he
Oh.
could do it.
Right. Wolverine's claw is very effective against Dormammu. Yeah, I get it.
Seemed like it.
No, it doesn't. Look at that page.
Dormammu
effective
wasn't
at all.
expecting it. Did
Look
you
at
like?
the page? Look at the actual page. Look at the page.
Yeah.
It wasn't effective. It's just
Dormammu was like, "Gotcha."
yeah. He didn't give a fuck about that.
Also, I like how you can just yank the Eye of Agamotto off. Like, I thought,
Just a brooch.
yeah, I guess. I don't know. That seems like a design flaw in what it is. But hey, magic works weird like that.
Yeah,
Kurt.
go ahead.
Kurt says, "I don't know if I want to see Doom shed his ego. Like, I guess
Right.
if that's the trajectory that we're heading, he has to learn
Well.
that. That's fair.
You got to have him shed his ego for when America's sweetheart Robert Downey Jr. portrays him as a much more grounded character in film, Marco.
Taking Doom's ego away is taking Doom away.
I agree.
I don't want to see Doom humanized. I'm not interested in this. I cannot wait until this series is over. But then again, it's going to be over for what? For Marvel to do another shitty event?
Oh, I bet you there's a Doctor Doom series that spins out of this.
Yeah.
Like Strange has his own book right now. Doom is probably still going to be Sorcerer Supreme by the end of this. So, Doctor Strange Doom book possibly.
Better be.
I still can't believe we came out of this issue and there's still like no turn in sight. right? Like there's like the shedding of his ego here is like, well, that was very clearly the right thing to do. Still a good guy to me.
Yeah, the turn seems to not be for Doom. Like even the cover of the next issue is him leading the Avengers. The turn almost seems to be the Avengers turning and accepting him, if anything.
You don't like that?
Hey,
No.
interesting. It's like a reverse Dark Reign in my eyes.
It's like I now have to work with like the villain. I'm
Wow,
forced
it's
to
very
it.
unique.
Even the stock market jumped up. You see that first info page? It was like, hey, Doom announces free trade globally, and everyone's stock goes up. Which, like, shouldn't Doom just get rid of money at that point?
Doomcoin.
Oh, God.
I gotta say, this is the hardest I've ever rooted for Doom. Maybe I'm into villains now. Magneto, Doom.
MODOK and Arcade. Don't forget about
Damn,
those
why
guys.
not? Shit.
Pass.
How many issues of this is there going to be?
I don't know, but do you pull, pass?
It's a pull for
Sean
me.
said too many.
Yeah, it's a pull. Sean said,
Who cares?
next book, please. It's a pull for me. There's at least 6 issues, so
Yeah, strong pull.
Even though you hit this, these pages in after this conversation, was Gritty easily could have been my pick of the week. I'm into this series.
yeah, real 180 for me from last issue.
42% of you didn't buy or read. Polls 30%, passes 19%. Pick of the week is 7%.
9 issues.
42%
Christ.
not
Wow.
pulling a Marvel event is wild.
Not to me, because the shit's bad. Like,
Shit stank.
why would people buy it? It's not good. This event.
That's great. You're nuts.
No, you're nuts. This event is dread.
Batman driving a building is cool to you, but
Hell yeah.
Doom coming off and fighting Dormammu isn't.
He got
Dude,
he got that twink body too underneath all that armor.
Come on.
No, you come on. I don't.
No, you
I don't
come
want-
on.
No, you come on.
Come
I don't
on.
wanna, you come on.
Hey, come on.
Hey, what? What?
Keep going.
All right, come on.
Come on.
Let's go.
Come on.
Knock it off. Come on.
You knock it off.
All right. Let's go.
There you go. So yeah, chat seems to largely agree this book is shit. Time to vote it off the show. I'll be
No
reading it
way.
either way, but
I'm having
No
fun.
way. Yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry.
It says nutty as squirrel shit. Squirrel Girl wasn't that in this, so.
If we can't get rid of Ultimate Spider-Man, we have to keep.
I'm
this.
I'm at least having fun with this.
we
Yeah.
can easily get rid of this over Amazing or Ultimate Spider-Man. No doubt about
I mean,
that.
stats wise, yes.
Yeah. One book will pay our bills. Grayson Red says, God bless y'all. I'm glad you enjoyed it, but from everything I've heard, this book was never for me.
I'm missing out.
On nothing. All right. Those are the reviews. Cole says drop Geiger for this. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm glad you guys are entertained. I'm not entertained. I'm not entertained by anything that just happened, including talking about this book. But hey, what are you gonna do? So we do have a couple of thoughts that we wanted to share with you about some other books that dropped. And Tyler is going to kick us off with his thoughts on Gwenpool, which he talked about wanting to read on Pal's previews.
Yeah.
And ended up getting to.
Yeah, I did get to it. And surprise, it's a lot of fun. So this is the idea of the all new, all deadly Gwenpool, which is this gritty take on Gwenpool, who's traditionally like this real happy-go-lucky doofus of a character. It's still a lot of that. And the first half of the book is the Avengers fighting Fin Fang Foom. It's not going well for them. Gwenpool shows up. She saves the day. In the most comic booky way possible. Gwenpool's power, if anyone doesn't know, is she can pretty much control the comic. She is aware that she is in a comic and can use the gutters. So Fin Fang Foom, giant dragon, right? She defeats him by he steps on her. So spoilers for the issue, and she disappears. So as he stepped on her, she jumped between panels and showed up at a later panel when the artist pulled out. So that if she jumps in the panel at a pull-out section, she is now the same size as Fin Fang Foom because the artist pulled out from POV. So then she was big and beat him up that way, which I was like, what? That's kind of sick.
In like the
Yeah.
corresponding panel.
It's like 2 pages later, and she jumps in. It's you have to read the comic because it plays with the idea of being in a comic. It's really good, and then like the tonal shift. Gwenpool's like, wait, hold on, why does it feel like a Frank Miller comic all of a sudden? And then it leads into the Spider-Man saying like, who's Frank Miller? It leads to the Dark Gwenpool showing up, which Professor X or the Maker might be involved with that. I don't know. At one point, Gwenpool says like, "Is this a Red Band comic?" And I was like, "All right, that's pretty funny," because things get a little more violent towards the end. I had a lot of fun with this. It's super meta. It's super dumb. If you liked the previous Gwenpool books and you thought this would be ruining that, it's not. It's so in line with the Guru Hero stuff that happened. So I would recommend it. It was fun.
Cool. And Kale's going to talk a little bit about Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, I got comics tagged on Pal's previews to read to give Ice Cream Man number 39 and 40 a shot. I only got to 40, but it's sorry, I only got to 39. It's the issues where it's the 5 seconds inside a car accident, and that's it. It's 28 pages of like what happens in a car accident and what happens in these people's heads, and like you watch them sort of crumple with the car. This was nuts. This was I don't know, Marco, you might have to help me with my terms here if you know it. This felt like crazy comics formalism, basically a massive study in like what comic books can do as a medium and like how they explore time and how they can zip back and forth and show you things that it would be absolutely impossible to see in any other medium. I thought this was crazy. The art by, I will have it in a second, by
It's Martin Morazzo,
Martin
right?
Morazzo. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just brutal. There's a couple of pages where it focuses on the mom, the wife, Caroline, I think is her name, and you watch her like crumple up and like her knees go into her face, and it was just brutal. Like if you can't handle like the gory aspect of that, you might have trouble with this. But I really recommend this issue, and I presume I'll recommend 40. This was incredible reading to show what comics can do.
How do you find Marazzo's art? I feel like he reminds me a bit of Quietly.
Yeah.
It's like the Quietly Burnham kind of
Yeah.
style. Yeah.
Oh,
like
who recommended you read this, Kill?
Oh, you did.
Oh shit, I have taste? What? Wow.
Just not for Doctor Doom, apparently.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
There's no ego in this, so that must be.
I have taste for good comics, that's all.
Oh, well.
Yeah. No, this was excellent. Ice Cream Man is a stellar series. So fantastic. I'm new to it, but it's very, very good. I ran into a friend of ours, a friend of the show at my LCS. And please, it's time for Sean Stack, so get your numbers in there.
Now get those numbers.
Yeah. I ran into Flo Dameron.
Oh, hell yeah. I thought you were gonna
Oh,
walk into the mansplainer again.
He was actually there. He was explain what was he explaining? Oh, he was explaining the image revolution.
Oh, he was doing
He
his
was
own deep dive.
Yeah, yeah, he was literally doing a deep dive into image revolution with some random, and he was explaining him the nooks and crannies of all of that. I was like, why is this? Why is the middle of a comic shop the place to do this? But I guess that it kind of is. Like comic book shops are the third space. The reason why it's weird to me is because I didn't have that. My LCS has always been this, and it's not the place to have that kind of conversation. Um, but yeah, I ran into Flo. It was very good to see him, see a friendly face, and he's got some cool stuff coming up. So hopefully he shares that with us in the Discord. Now, I told you guys about the invincible blind bags, and I definitely couldn't resist getting one because I love opening packs of cards and things like that. And that this just felt like that to me because you don't know what's inside, right? So this is what it looks like. Um, it's very cool,
whoa.
Is this one
it's all
sealed?
red. Sorry?
Is this one sealed?
Yeah, it's sealed. It will be not sealed though in a second.
Oh, good. You're doing
Uh,
it live. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. Okay, cool.
and so what I'm doing now is I am going to open this bad boy up
Oh
and
no,
let's
there's
see
nudity.
what we
No, I'm
got.
joking. It's a Playboy.
Oh!
Which one did you get? Did you get the Spider-Man one? Hell yeah.
I sure did.
Get
Whoa.
that bad boy on eBay.
Yo, I'm shocked. This is a foil Marvel team up Spider-Man meets Invincible.
Cool.
Yo, this is going for 30 plus online right now. Not that I'm going to sell it, but wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I
I
almost
almost
wish I had got
man, I almost picked one of those up.
Damn. I fucked up.
that's
Man, I was too busy trying to be face first in someone's daughter, and I forgot to go get my comic
Oh.
books instead. What? Wrong show?
they wouldn't let us get more than one, and I was really
Mm.
disappointed by that, but it turns out I got a really good one. So, I'm happy. Um so yeah, I know some other people shared their blind bag results in the Discord. So if you haven't yet, please do. I would love to see what you guys pulled. I know Dawoody also pulled what he pulled. He pulled Invincible issue 19, which is the first appearance of Battle Beast.
Yep.
Very cool.
What's the rarest
Uh,
one? Is there one that's the hardest to get?
I'm pretty sure there's a 1 of 100.
Is it the die
I don't
cut foil
remember
version? Maybe.
exactly, but
Man, this speaks to me in a bad way. Get me away. Do not. I better not see one of these in the store if I stop by one soon.
get one.
Don't enable me.
Why
Do
not?
it.
They're fun as fuck.
Last time I got a blind bag comic, I got the fucking signed Jonathan Hickman one for Fantastic Four. I peaked.
Or you have really good luck and you should try your luck again.
That's that meme of the guy digging with the diamonds. You know, you give up right before you hit it big.
Always.
Um, did you guys check out the new Heavy Metal #1 these past few weeks? No, Rudale. I don't think any of us did.
Don't read. No heavy metal.
Yeah, no, I'm not a heavy metal guy.
Listen to it.
You listen to heavy
One
metal,
of one.
Marco?
Go ahead.
I didn't know Marco listened to heavy metal.
Here and there.
1 of 1,000 Ryan Otley cover. Wow.
No, come on.
Damn.
Roger says I ordered I ordered 3 blind bags, got hot buns besides the issue 2 foil.
Oh my God. 1 in 1,000. Imagine being that lucky. See, Tyler?
Looks like it's selling for $900.
Holy
Like
shit.
a CGC 9.8 is selling for $1,000 for it. Yeah, it's the one I actually had on the stream. That Virgin variant where he has the sword in front of his face, very Conan.
How do people even have it CGC graded already? That's crazy.
Gotta be.
It's eBay, so I don't know how that fucking works, but
Same day.
there's a
CW
1 to
Gordon,
2,000? Nah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I'm not even
Wow.
seeing
What do you,
that.
would that be?
Insane.
All right. Let's get those stack numbers read so we can get out of here.
Oh, let's see. So to kick us off, we've got C.W. Gordon at 16. Near is 19 for Stake. James Jones, perennial winner, is 21 for Stack. Hayden's Hideout says 22. Luna comes in at 18. Roger Hernandez at 16. MD Johnny at 14. Kurt Wildshut at 13. Matt Fisher at 12. Mike Hank at 16. Rami Darwish at 15. Ted H coming in a big one with 25. Entertain Me comes in with 16. CW Gordon forgot the blind bag coming in at 17. Dawoody says 17. Entertain Me also changing for the blind bag, 17. That's it.
All right. Noodle Meat
Oh.
says 17.
Noodle Meat. Can't forget the Noodle Meat.
Yeah, can we just not Noodle Meat? I'm sure you're a great guy. That's a bone chilling name.
All right. We've got the Uncanny X-Men number 14. I got the X-Men 97 variant for some reason. Ultimate Black Panther number 16. Transformers number 20. Geiger number 14. Aquaman number 5. World Tree number 14. Very happy for that to be back. Green Lantern Corps number 4. I talked about it a little bit earlier. This was excellent. Very good comics. I'm so happy that there's good Green Lantern stuff again. Immortal Thor number, what is this, 23? Also extremely strong issue. Al Ewing is rocketing towards that 25 and doing it in style. And Huck, Big Bad World number 1.
Oh,
I
Oh,
like
yeah.
this a lot.
Yeah.
oh, you read it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, I
It's
saw
good
that,
Albuquerque.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Marco, have you read the OG Huck?
I feel like I've read like an issue or two. It was short,
Oh.
right? Like 6 issues.
Yeah, short, sort of mini series. I think it would be up your alley. Huck is
I've
quite
heard.
good.
Man,
Yeah.
Mark Millar fucking fumbled this second Huck. He could have called it Huck Tua.
Boo.
No? All right. I'm just going to end the stream. I'm ashamed now.
That's it.
Is that 17?
16, 7 plus 9. I think.
That's 16. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody nail that?
Sorry, it's 16?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of 17s. A lot of people just went on.
Yeah. Oh, I think. Oh, geez. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the people up their votes.
Oh, no.
I want to say, geez.
C.W. Gordon, but unless he
No, he upped.
updated-
Changed it. Yep.
Roger
Roger, yeah.
Maybe. Did
or
he up
Mike
it?
Hank.
I think it's Roger. I don't
Yeah.
think Roger went up.
Did Entertain Me change it?
Roger got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good shit,
Yeah,
Roger. Good
now
guess.
CW Gordon wants to change the
Go.
rules.
No Action Comics. Yeah, what the fuck happened to me? That's the book I missed.
Did Gavin call you out on that? Is he still here?
No, thankfully he left earlier. It would have been 17 had I not screwed that up. So
Yeah, we were counting the blind bag. CW, sorry.
mhm.
Roger gets it.
Congrats, Roger. Entertain Me. We know, man. I saw that change. I saw it. Always stick with your first picks. You know what? Sometimes, yeah. Stick with your guns. Wait, Miles came out this week?
Yeah, you talked about it on Pal's previews.
Mother
How you were excited for it because Ares is
Man.
back.
Damn it.
Okay, maybe you don't do a pull list. Maybe you do a sticky note.
Yeah, you know what, dude? What I was doing for a couple weeks was I was writing the list of books I was gonna get the night before, but I forgot to do that this week, so that's what
Yeah.
fucked me.
Yeah, you need a little something tactile. I mean, you are reading the books physically. Maybe you need a little physical list too,
Yeah.
or like an AI to tell you.
Little agent.
C.W. Gordon says Exquisite Corpse was 3 comics, right?
Felt like it.
If it gets you to the right number.
It did. Yeah. Was his guess 13?
Uh,
Actually,
probably.
Mike
No,
Hank had
his
Mike
was
Hank had
16.
16. Yeah, Mike Hank also. Not
Yeah,
first.
but Roger was
Yeah.
first.
So he gets sloppy seconds if there are any.
Story.
Roger has a question for us before we close out. What should I read tonight? New Frontier
Yeah.
or continue JMS Spidey?
Take
New
a break
Frontier.
and do New Frontier.
Yeah. I would say if the question is, do I read this comic or New Frontier? Whatever this comic is, New Frontier is still the answer.
Yep.
Yeah, like are you in a if you're in a stoppable point on JMS Spidey, give it a break. Give it a break. All right. We will be back Saturday to talk about the end of the direct market deep dive. I was going to say the end of the direct market. We haven't hit that. But the end of the
Yet.
direct market deep yet. The end of the deep dive. Hopefully, you guys will come and support that. Appreciate those of you who do. We will be announcing the winner of the book club poll over on the Patreon to tell you guys what book to get ready for us to read. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Saturday, 10:15 a.m. Eastern. Be there. Till then.